Greetings, members, one and all of the Salivation Nation. I am here with Scott, an outside broker from Miles Franklin, and he has his own YouTube channel called Snafu Radio, and he has some great insights with his position there at Miles Franklin. Welcome, Scott.
Well, howdy.
How you doing? You're from Texas.
Yes, sir. Dallas, Texas, born and raised.
All right. Well, so you have been with Miles Franklin as an outside broker there, and you've seen a lot of things in the silver market specifically, and you were instrumental in this huge $50 million order that was all the rage in the news a while back there. I know that Andy Scheckman has talked about it, but do you have any other insights about that order? And can you share anything about if she wants to order any more silver and gold?
Well, I wasn't instrumental per se in any of it. I actually found out, but what was kind of interesting was I just happened to find out right when the initial transaction happened, and the broker, I know the broker, I met him, and I've only met him once up here in Dallas. He lives down around Austin. He lives about an hour outside east of Austin. And Bill Holter, real good guy. And, you know, he's an ex-stockbroker from way back in the day. So him and Andy are buddies from way back in the day. And Bill was the one who put this deal together for the $50 million. And I just happened to call up Andy one morning and to talk to him about something. I don't remember what it was. And he was just super excited. And, you know, he was just, he was like shitting his pants excited. Bill just had a $50 million deal go down, and the bank called Andy because the bank got wired $50 million into his account. The bank was calling Andy going, where did this $50 million come from?
Right. Wow.
And so anyhow, they put that order together and got it out, you know, and it took them about 3 or 4 days to pull all that much silver down from various places. But like I said, I just happened to find out right when the transaction was occurring with the banks. What was really interesting is some of the backstory of, you know, they say it was a lady who got this deal, multi-billionaire or something, you know, owns like who knows what. But anyhow, her getting the money out of the bank was a huge hassle. And she had to basically threaten the president of the bank with some government agency if they didn't transfer her money to that account like she instructed them to do 2 weeks ago. And they were stalling her out because they didn't want to see that kind of money leave their books, you know, right at the end of a quarter or something. Because all this happened right before July 4th. In fact, that was the stipulation. She wanted to have it all, the whole transaction completed before July 4th, which she did. And so anyhow, Andy was like, he was telling me, he goes, you know, Bill, you know, you always hear people saying they're going to put together this big deal, and all of a sudden it happened. And it was crazy because they told me, you know, because I sent an email over to Bill. I said, hey, congratulations, man. You just, you know, put together the biggest deal ever. And he was like, be quiet. Don't say nothing until the deals are, you know, over and done with. And so I had to sit on it for about, you know, a good week and a half after it become completely official. Nobody could say nothing about it. And then it kind of come out, you know. But I was sitting on it for a couple of weeks going, okay, let's see what happens to the price of some silver now. And it started kind of getting a little bit volatile right after that, too. So there's definitely a squeeze like that of 50 mil it wouldn't take too many more players like that to come in there, and they could liquidate the silver market overnight.
That's amazing how small the silver market, when you think about orders like that. We estimate that about 1% of the population in the United States stacks silver. If that increased to just 2%, you would wipe it all out.
Right. That's right. And so now the biggest problem is where do people go with their money? Because the stock market has already lost 30%, and you can't get into real estate because it's starting to tank, because the whole economy is starting to tank. So one of the programs that we have is for people with IRAs, where they can actually they can move over to New Direction, make them the custodian of the account. Whoever they're with, like a Edward Jones, or put whatever name you want with, they're the custodian of that account. So all you're doing is changing custodians that have access to get precious metals, physical metal in a IRA that is stored at a depository. And there's several depositories. Hell, there's a depository here in Dallas. And so that's pretty cool. But,
right.
So that's a huge off-ramp for people to be able to do that. And I work with people all day, every day on that. So if anybody has any questions or problems, they can call me. I'll give out my phone number, it's 214-730-2471, or Scott at milesfranklin.com. But all you want to do is, and on my channel, every channel in the description, it has the phone number to New Direction. The website's simple, NDTCO. So November Delta Tango Charlie Oscar.com. And so anyhow, you can get an account set up with them. And as soon as it gets funded, that's when you call me. We lock in the metals. Then everything goes into autopilot, and then all you're doing is you're paying roughly $200 a year for the custodian of your account now. So you'd be the same thing with New Direction. They'd be the new custodian, and you just have to pay the extra couple $100 a year for the depository, roughly speaking, So they're all kind of range roughly around like that, some a little bit more. But anyhow, the main thing is you're getting out of paper and actually into physical metals that once you even got up to 59.5 and you can start making withdrawals on your IRA, you can have physical metals sent to your house from that IRA because you actually purchased physical metals and locked it up. That's the biggest kicker right there. So
that's amazing. Definitely a good way to get out of the derivative market, which, some say the amount of paper silver to actual physical backing it is at a record high, like 1,800 or something to 1, which is insane.
That's what we were talking about earlier. People used to say it was 250. Oh, no, it's 500. Now they're saying 1,800 to 1. That is just the model of an implosion if you've ever seen. Because they don't have the metal to cover it, or why would their ratios get worse and worse and worse? And this is compounding now.
Right. Yep. Something's got to give somewhere. This is why holding physical precious metals really is the key. And apparently the lady that bought this order for $50 million, a lot of Silver Eagles, all of it American, junk silver as well, and some gold. There was talk that she will continue to place orders, but you've not heard any news about a new order from her yet, right?
That was the chatter that she was going to come back and make another run or two. And so what does that mean? Nobody really knows. There hasn't been anything else come down the grapevine on anything. So I was just kind of lucky to be in the circle when it happened and knew about it and just sat and watched. And then especially a couple of weeks later when it made the news, everybody's heads was blowing up. I had my own listeners call me, did you hear, did you know about this deal? I was like, I knew about it 2 weeks ago.
Right.
I was just told to shut up, don't say nothing.
Now,
And
and I don't want you to share anything that's private here, but do you know if Andy or anybody at Miles Franklin has been in contact with her since the completion of that order?
no, I have no, I'm not privy to that.
Right.
Now, Bill Holter, I'm sure he's probably romancing the woman.
Right, right. There you go. Yes, indeed. Well, because it'd be interesting to see where her head is at now that the metals are starting to climb up a bit now, and to see if she's
Yeah, just wait till that stuff doubles. Once that stuff doubles, I mean, just imagine having $50 million double.
right, right. Yeah. Well, interesting. Now, you also deal with smaller customers, obviously, and people can contact you if they want to just take delivery of silver or gold. They
Right.
can contact you at your email address, as you mentioned, or phone number, and
There
that's
is no minimum either. If you're going to get a small amount, 4 coins is the smallest to go because there's $15 shipping. And if you're paying, 20, if you just wanted 1 coin and it's $25 for like a buffalo or something, you add $15 to that. You're not looking too pretty on the price per ounce wise.
exactly
So you want to really try to save up and get 4 coins at least. So the shipping is $15. It's a flat fee shipping. So it doesn't matter, but it's up to 500 ounces. If you get 500 ounces or more, it's free shipping. So it's real simple. So, but it all comes UPS, drop ship from the exchange, and it all has to be signed for. So it's real secure. We don't take plastic, no fantastic plastic. It's ACH. So I get everybody set up with their bank account routing number, and that's the securest way to get it done.
And right
And
now, you don't have really a web presence to take point of sale orders in that regard. It's mostly just through your contacting
right,
you, right?
right at this point in time, they're working on getting a website for small orders to be able to take large orders, though. That's a different animal.
Right.
But small orders, they're working on it. They've been working on it for a while. It just takes, the security, websites and, the fraud and the hacking, just the hacking alone. It's getting, crazy out there, just knowing what's going on with all that stuff now. And
Right.
so people have to be really secure about, and trust. Miles Franklin's been in business 31 years. Andy's founded a company 31 years ago, and, zero customer complaints. And there's ever a problem, you just call me and I figure it out and see what's going on. People make mistakes, and that's inevitable. Hell, machines break down. That's inevitable. So things happen, but, as long as we figure it out, we'll get it all settled and make sure that you're taken care of to get your physical silver in your hands. Because if you don't hold it, you don't own it. That's the
right.
old thing.
That's right, exactly. Speaking of holding and owning, there's a long wait. The trend that you've been seeing with the weight on silver has been just increasing, right?
That's what I wanted to touch on as well. They used to have stuff in stock at say 7 to 10 days. Now everything is 30 days out. I actually have a custom Trump bar that's made with Trump, and it says Snafu Radio on it. They're 10-ounce bars. They make them up there at the exchange. They mint them there. And so they're really a unique little bar. They're the size of a matchbox and weigh just a little over a half a pound, but it's 10 ounces. And so that's a really cool coin. But like I say, they have all that stuff at the exchange, and that's where everything is done through. So we're standalone from them. Everything that we do, we lock in orders, we settle the office will settle the account with the exchange, and the exchange drops everything to the client via UPS.
Wonderful. Well, great. And as far as these wait times, I know we talked offline, they fluctuate, but you're seeing it just increase. And
30
so
days,
it,
30 days plus. That was what I was kind of getting at is even when they were making the Trump bars, they were always saying 7 to 10 days because they're making them on site, right? Now it's 30 days even for the Trump bars. It's like, why are they taking so long? They make them right there. It's like, what's going on? Why is it being slowed down? Well, they actually make some of the bars that they make them out of silver. They smelt it out of silver BBs, basically. And
right.
that's where they smelt it down and then pour it in a mold and then stamp it with a dye, just like the one I had made, right? Or whatever other dye. It doesn't matter. All these different companies have their own dyes. So is it like getting harder for them to get them little BBs, I mean, well, it's just really odd for something that they were constantly in stock of. Everything is automatically 30 days now, just automatic. So that's kind of strange.
Something's happening. There's something is afoot with the silver market, that's for sure. And it's exciting to see new stackers. And I'm sure you've probably seen an increase in orders and business from new customers. Is that right?
Oh, yeah. Shoot. September was a huge month, man. September, $2 million sold out the door.
Wow. Incredible.
In 1 month. And that's mainly, that was some pretty decent size accounts because they were IRAs. And they wanted to get out of the paper, and they did. And they locked it all up in 100-ounce bars.
Amazing.
Yep.
Well, Scott, this has been insightful. What a great conversation. Thank you for sharing your insight and the inside scoop on that big order and what Miles Franklin is doing and what you're seeing as an outside broker with the markets with silver from your position. It's been exciting, and thank you so much. And actually, I want to also thank Rocky Superstar, who introduced me to you.
Yeah.
And very good. Well, thank you again for taking the time for this interview. Been a wonderful conversation. I hope we can do it again soon.
Well, I certainly look forward to it. Just give me a call because the way you got it set up now, we could do this easy.
Exactly. That's right. We sure can. And I want to extend a multitude of gratitude to Scott and also to all of you for taking the time to watch this video and encourage you to please rate, share, comment, and subscribe.